Esteemed audience, what is going to follow is a speech in English by Mr. D.A.Joseph. He is a scholar in Hindu philosophy, particularly Sri Vaishnavism. He is well acquainted with Sanskrit, Tamil, English, Hindi, and Canaries. His lectures on the Vedas, Idihasas, and Puranas are enjoyed by people around the world both in English and Tamil. He has released more than 3,000 CDs of his lectures. His website dajoseph.com is globally popular. He renders short message for 2 minutes every day in WhatsApp entitled Vedic Voice by Rishi Dharma. Now, I stand back to enable you to enjoy his spiritual utterance.
Bhagavad Kripayalabdam Sadgurum Yesam cha Tat Kripalabdam Janan Upagrati Mahite Bhagavati Paramam Bhaktim Atanate. Hi everybody, I wish you a happy new year. Dear audience of California and Portland, today I am asked to speak on Hinduism, Vaishnavism and Sri Ramanuja. Shall I thank at the outset Mr. Bharani Kumar of California, who is the organizer, and the authorities of Sri Balaji Temple, Portland, and its chief priest. Now, today's heading is triple: Hinduism, Vaishnavism and Sri Ramanuja. First I shall explain Hinduism, because this is meant for an audience who is far away from India, who has been living in a foreign atmosphere and who has been away from the Vedic surroundings. So I would like to put in short some points of greatness of Hinduism. What does the word Hinduism mean? You must understand, first of all, the word Hinduism is a wrong pronunciation of the word Sindhuism. People who looked at Indian religion from outside India's borders said that the people who live on both the banks of river Sindhu practice a Vedic religion. Because the people of the banks of Sindhu practice it, we can call it a Sindhuism. That is how they named it. That nomenclature got modified down the ages. It became Hinduism. Anyway, both the words are basically wrong. The religion prevalent in India, which has been prevalent in India for millions of years, is a Vedic religion, Vedanta. Or you can call it Rishi Dharma. The founders of Hinduism are rishis. These are the rishis who gave us the Vedas, the Idihasas, the Puranas, the Smritis, and all the social and spiritual laws to us. To these rishis, all spiritual founders are indebted, be it Sankaracharya or Ramanujacharya or Madhvacharya or Vallabhacharya. All these saints, these religious leaders, derive their concept of Godhead, soul, hell and heaven from the Vedas which were given by the rishis. Sri Ramanuja was so grateful to the rishis that he named two children belonging to the Acharya Parampara as Vyasa Bhattar and Parasara Bhattar. Sages Vyasa and Parasara, these two people were like pillars for Hinduism. So, you might be an Advaitin or you might be a Dvaitin. We are all indebted to the rishis. They come first in our Guru Parampara, Vande Guru Paramparam. You cannot exclude rishis from our Guru Parampara, even if you are a Veera Saivate or a Veera Vaishnavite. That is why I named an association after this. I call it Rishi Dharma. It is an international association growing fast. The speciality of this word, Hinduism, is that it has been named not after the founder, but after the lot of people who practice it. Buddhism was named after the founder Buddha. Jainism was named after its founder Mahavira Jina. Similarly, all religions. I don't want to waste time. But here, Hinduism was not born on any day. It is eternal. It is Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means an eternal religion which has no birth or death, no beginning or end. With such a holy background, it is named after the people who practice it as Hinduism. The Hindu is the person who practices the religion. He is not the founder. This is the only religion which has been named after the people who practice it. Because what is the use of 1,000 founders of religions in the world if it is not followed by anybody? Who is important? The founder or the follower? The founder loses his life if there is no practicer. Founders are meant for people who practice. Religions are meant for people who practice. Hinduism is a way of living. Here, religion is not bracketed to certain sects or to certain habits or to certain periods. Hinduism infiltrates into everyday life. In naming a child, in schooling it, in wedding, in day-to-day family life. Every stage and step of a Hindu life is religious. Hinduism permeates it. I use the word Hinduism because I don't want to sound strange to you, even though I realize that Rishi Dharma or Vedanta is the right nomenclature. I want to be nearer to you in expressions so that you can grasp what I say. Now, the scripture, coming to scriptures of Rishi Dharma, they are the Vedas. What is the meaning of the word Veda? Veda means knowledge. No religion has for its scripture named as knowledge. Those religious scriptures have been named differently. Tripitaka, the Quran, and so on and so on. Here, the Vedas mean a bundle of knowledge, true knowledge. There has been a quest for knowledge in India for thousands and thousands of years. What for? They wanted to find out who God is, what his nature is, what he looks like, who is a man born, does man have a soul, what is the difference between animal and man. or trees alive or dead. So they wanted to come to a conclusion about their surroundings. Today the West also is interested in surroundings. They do scientific research. They want to come to conclusions about sunlight, about moonlight, about the nature of botanical creatures, about the flora and fauna. But their knowledge is at the physical level. They don't go beyond it, they don't transcend. Whereas in India, the seeker transcended the physical plane. He went deeper. He thought about the soul inside the body, God inside the soul, the hidden treasures of spirituality. What happens after death? What happens before birth? Why is a man rich? Why is a man poor? Why is a man black? Why is a man dull? These questions were gnawing the minds of Indian seekers. They did not rest satisfied till they found a solution for that. In search of that knowledge, they went to forests, spent their whole lives. They found out the secret of extending their longevity to thousands of years. They lived for thousands of years. Scriptures say that even today, sages like Vasishtha and the Saptarishis continue to live somewhere in some hill caves. It's our misfortune that we are not able to meet them. So in search of true knowledge, they sacrifice their worldly pleasures, their physical luxuries. They went to forests in search of godly knowledge. And whatever they found, by their penance, they recorded in books. And that's what we call Vedas, Itihasas, Smritis, Puranas. And nothing can equal this lot of knowledge. UNESCO has recorded that Rig Veda is the most ancient human knowledge. There is no knowledge written or spoken before Rig Veda. So Hinduism is the most ancient religion in the world. No other religion can compete with it. No other religion can lay claim to overtake it. If at all they do so, they cannot prove it. It is beyond proof. It is beyond their capacities. Because history is in favor of our statements. History is on our side. We have records. The sculptures, the writings on stone, the palm leaves, the books which have been passed on from generation to generation till date, the astronomical discoveries. They have mapped the sky. They decided when a solar eclipse will occur, when a lunar eclipse will occur, in the year 2020, in the year 2025. They have foretold all those things. Not with the help of a telescope, not with the help of any astronomical scientific assets. All they used was their wisdom, jnana drishti. Such was the greatness of India. The country has been a guru to the whole world. The world has been looking up to it for knowledge, for clarification of doubts about society and life. And as I am drunk on Hinduism, I would not stop this pouring of ideas about Hinduism. So I want to limit myself. I think I can stop my explanation of Hinduism. Now I skip to the next subtopic, Vaishnavism. Vaishnavism is a branch of Hinduism. What does the word Vaishnavism mean? The word Vaishnavism is born from the word Vishnu. Vishnu is the name of Lord Narayana, whom the Vedas, the Rishis, have been worshipping as God Almighty. This Vishnu is the second name of Lord Narayana in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Visvam, Vishnuhu, like that it goes. The word Vishnu means God permeates everywhere. God dwells everywhere, in and out of atoms. There is not a place where He does not dwell. He is an all-permeating God. And that is an answer for the question which usually growing minds raise. Where does God dwell? As babies, we have been asking our parents, where does God dwell? Mostly we have been answered this way: God is up above, somewhere in the sky, millions of miles away from the earth. This is a satisfying answer for the baby. We have been answered like that. But the Vedas say, no, God is not somewhere millions of miles away from earth. He is right here. He is inside you. He is outside you. You cannot show a single object which is not the living place of God. He is all spread. He is omnipresent. He is everywhere. And that is what the word conveys. The word Vishnu conveys that. God is everywhere. Be careful in your thoughts, in your words and deeds. He watches you. He follows you. The whole lot of 33 crores of gods is not needed for Him. He can count the good deeds and bad deeds of every soul without the help of Yamadharmaraja or his assistant Chitragupta. He can operate wind without the help of Vayudeva. He can give light to the world without the help of Sun God. He can do everything, he can manage everything. But because he wanted to honor some souls which lived a righteous life by a good post, he created these posts of Devas. Vayudeva is a post, Agnideva is a post, Sun God is a post, Yamadharmaraja is a post. So, some of the souls were placed high, they were honored by the posts, they were paid satisfactorily by what they expected as luck or pleasure. But God is capable of more than this. In Bhagavad Gita, we find Krishna telling Arjuna that, look at me, Arjuna, my Kala Swarupa, my form as time infinite. Arjuna was scared to see his limitless form, countless heads, countless hands and feet. In his body he could see whatever happened, whatever is happening and what is going to happen. Arjuna shouted, Krishna, I am scared. Shrink yourself, I don't want to see this fearful sight. Arjuna wondered how you can manage so many worlds, so many authorities. How are you able to control this administration? Krishna says, all this I am able to manage by 1,000th of my capacity. So much remains lazy, unused. Such is his power. Such is his yoga maya. So the word Vishnu is all explaining. If you keep explaining the meaning of the word Vishnu, well, the whole Hinduism will come into your hands. That is the type of name he is given. And those followers who worship him, Lord Vishnu, are called Vaishnavites. And this Vaishnavism gives you an idea as to how to live happily in worldly life, how to attain salvation after death. Great saints, great guides, spiritual guides have strengthened this path. Ramanuja is one such. Now, as this is the month of December, and according to the Indian calendar, it is called Margazhi in Tamil and Margasirsha in Sanskrit. What is the meaning of the word Margasirsha? In Bhagavad Gita, the 10th chapter, In the 35th sloka, Lord Krishna says, Masanam Margashir Soham. Of the 12 months of Indian calendar, I live in the month of Margasirsha. In the month of Margasirsha, the constellation of Margasirsha comes in union with the full moon. And the whole month, the period of 30 days, is a Sattvic period. It is believed to be the Brahma Muhurtha of Devas. What is Brahma Muhurtha? Our ancient sages have found out that time has an influence upon life. They divided it as horas, as jamas. Though the time, to speak in the modern language, between 3:30 in the morning and 6 o'clock a.m., they call it Brahma Muhurta. At that time, your brain is very sattvic, very much attuned to religious frequency. It's ready to meditate on God. So don't waste the time. Spend it for God, spend it for worship, spend it for meditation, spend it for spiritual reading. Don't sleep at that time. Wake up. So our ancestors, our elders told us, get up as early in the morning as possible, take bath and worship God. Do puja, meditate upon Him. Now the human calendar is different from that of gods. For gods, man's 1 year is 1 day. For them, the whole month of Margasirsha, Margazhi, is Brahma Muhurta, early morning. Brahma is God. Muhurta means time, godly time. So that is Brahma Muhurta for gods, these 30 days. So sages said, don't waste this rare period for worldly pursuits. Don't spend those days on worldly pursuits and worldly ends. So usually we don't conduct marriages or any worldly endeavors in the month of Margasirsha. It is for worship. So in this month of Margasirsha, usually people read the Pasurams of Andal. Andal is held in very high esteem. Ramanuja said, you keep the writings of all Alvars on one plate of the balance and keep Andal's Tirupavai the other side, this plate will go down. Because she has squeezed the divine wisdom and given us the essence of it in one Pasuram beginning Sitranchirikale. Now, there is another speciality for this month. That is the Sukla Paksha Ekadasi of the month of Margasirsha is called Sri Vaikuntha Ekadasi. What is Vaikuntha Ekadasi? Our scriptures teach us that in Krita Yuga, now Kali Yuga is running, the previous Yuga was Dwapara Yuga, and the prior one was Treta Yuga, and one before that is called Krita Yuga. In Krita Yuga, there was an Asura Rakshasa, a demon named Muran. He was an enemy of gods. He was giving trouble to the gods. So when the gods appealed to Lord Vishnu to kill him, he conducted a battle with him. It is said that the battle went on for 1,000 celestial years. Then Lord Vishnu got bored. He went to Badrikasrama to lie down for sleep. The demon Muran came chasing him. While he thought of killing Lord Vishnu in the sleeping posture, the power of Lord Vishnu emerged out of his sleeping body in the form of a woman, a beautiful damsel. And that girl killed Muran. The concept tells us that don't be taken aback by Muran's capacities. Don't think that Muran could fight for 1,000 celestial years with Lord Vishnu. That means Vishnu is weak and Muran is strong. It is not like that. It is to honor the boon he had got from Brahma. Now, the honoring part is over. He must be finished. Now, Lord Vishnu wanted to show the world that killing Muran is not a great achievement. It is not a big manly adventure. So, he created a womanly form and that woman finished him. So, Vishnu indirectly tells us that to kill Muran, a woman is enough. A feminine Shakti is enough. Perhaps the Shakta religion believes in the supremacy of womanhood, but in Vaishnavism, Vishnu comes first, Lakshmi comes next. So, when that beautiful damsel killed him, that damsel was named as Ekadasi Devata by Lord Vishnu because she was born on that day. Ekadasi means number 11. That is the 11th day. Every 11th day after a full moon or after Amavasya, new moon, is Ekadasi. And he wanted to honor that lady. He said, anybody who worships you, that is the Ekadasi, on the Ekadasi day, will attain Vaikuntha. Because she was born on that day, that Ekadasi was named as Sri Vaikuntha Ekadasi. It is Dhanurmasa Sukla Paksha. Then, to honor her more, he said, anybody who follows a penance of starvation, vrata, will be blessed by God. And if anybody eats it, what happens? The story goes that from the sweat of Lord Brahma, a bad force, a demon was born. It was called Papa Purusha. He asked Brahma place to dwell in. Then Lord Vishnu granted him as a living place in the food material on the days of Ekadasi. You go and live in the food material of people on Ekadasi. Anybody who eats on Ekadasi day will be caught by Papa Purusha. He will dwell in the form of worms and create tamasic qualities, and he will belittle his punya, delay his moksha. So, people started starving on Ekadasi days as Nirjala Vrata. That is, Nirjala Vrata means that is not even drinking water. Ekadasi samam vrata nasti, Padma Purana says. All these stories are found in Padma Purana. And every Ekadasi came to be called a day for Vishnu. From Dhanurmasa, the Ekadasi starts counting. Every Ekadasi, whether it is Krishna Paksha Ekadasi or Sukla Paksha Ekadasi, is a starving day for a devotee. And every Ekadasi has a different name. It has a story. And even today we can find people who don't eat anything on the day of Ekadasi. This Sri Vaikuntha Ekadasi is called Nanjunda Ekadasi because the milk ocean was churned on this day only. Poison came out and Lord Shiva took it. Nanjunda means eating poison. So it's called Nanjunda Ekadasi by Saivites. It's called Mukkoti Ekadasi, that is the 33 crores of God. They worship this day because it was for them the battle was conducted with Muran. So it's called Mukkoti Ekadasi. It's called Samudra Madana Ekadasi because the milk ocean was churned only on this day. Then it is also honored for another reason. Bhagavad Gita was taught only on this day. So, Bhagavad Gita was born on Ekadasi day. Amrita was taken on that day. So many spiritual attributes are there for this day. Now, so much for Sri Vaikuntha Ekadasi, because a description of the month of Margasirsha, Margadi, will not be complete if we don't refer to Sri Vaikuntha Ekadasi. Sri Vaikuntha Ekadasi is celebrated very grandly in Tirupati, in Guruvayur, in Srirangam, in almost all Vishnu temples. But particularly this Tirupati and Srirangam are named as Bhuloka Vaikuntams. So we can find people, millions of people flocking to these temples. So that much for the subtopic Vaishnavism. Now I think I can go to the next section of today's topic. What is it? It is Sri Ramanuja. Ramanuja is a personage whose praiseworthy deeds and writings cannot be contained in one lecture. He lived for one full span of human life, 120 years. Not a day was a waste for him. Whereas in our life, if you sum up our biography, we would find only days of wastage would be too many. Useful days are very few. Sri Ramanuja spent every day of his life for the welfare of humanity, in spreading Vaishnavism, in throwing light upon hidden secrets of the Vedas. At that time, during the time of Sri Ramanuja, Buddhism was very much prevalent, and consequently Advaita was very popular. Even Sri Shankaracharya followed Advaita, and every Indian started proclaiming that Aham Brahmasmi. He started claiming that he is God. Such a boasting ended up in ajnana, lack of wisdom. So Ramanuja wanted to make it clear that you are not God. You are God's abode. You are God, of course, but not yourself, but your ruler is God. Advaita, Visishta Advaita, classified monism. Sri Ramanuja wrote very few books, below 10. One of his popular writing is commentary for Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He wrote a commentary for Bhagavad Gita, a Visishtadvaitic commentary for Bhagavad Gita. At the outset, before starting his explanation for the first sloka, Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yutsavaha, he gives an introduction to Lord Krishna. He explains how Lord Krishna is none but Lord Narayana. And therethrough he wants to make us understand the infinite qualities of Lord Narayana. And it is a very fluent flow of words, but rich in meaning. It's not just a jugglery of words. In that he brings out the several names of Lord Narayana. I will just read out 2 or 3 lines. Harihi Om Sriyah Patihi Nikila Heya Pratinika Kalyana Ekatanaha Svetara Samasta Vastu Vilakshanananta Jnana Anandaika Srupaha Swabhavika Anavadika Atishaya Jnana Balaishvarya Virya Shakti Teja Prabhritya Asankyeya Kalyana Gunagana Mahodarihi. It goes on like that. In each of these words, he brings out the greatness of Lord Narayana, his physical manifestation, his appearance, and so on. But here a question comes. Is God formless, or does he have a form? The answer is both. God has a form, but he cannot be limited by a form. Taking a form is within his discretion. He is formless. He is everywhere. Like the air we find, like the ether we find. But he is subtler than ether. Why does he take a form for us? Those people who want to serve him visibly, he needs a form. You see, when a human soul attains salvation, when all his koshas, Annamaya kosha, Akasamaya kosha, all these koshas slip down, he takes a bath in river Virija, and the soul alone goes to Sri Vaikuntha. He wants to serve Lord Narayana out of gratitude for giving him salvation, for following him in all his births as Antaryame and guiding him. But if he wants to serve, if God is formless and the soul is formless, how can a formless soul do service to a formless God? Just think for a moment. It is not possible. So to do service and to accept service, the human soul needs a form. To accept service, God needs a form. That is how we come across a visual description of Sri Vaikuntha. That Lord Narayana is couching upon the snake deity Adisesha. So many attendants are serving him, so and so. I shall try to explain a few names of Lord Narayana as given by Sri Ramanuja. First he says, Sriyapatihi. Sriyapatihi means husband of Mahalakshmi. Who is Mahalakshmi? Mahalakshmi is an eternally liberated soul. Liberated in the sense not that she was enslaved in Ajnana and got released on a particular date. She was never within the shackles of Ajnana. She is a perennially, permanently liberated soul. She is the consort of Lord Narayana. Does God need a wife like man? No. She is the representative of the whole lot of souls. She wants to prove Lord Vishnu that all human souls or all souls, say animal soul or botanical soul, whatever it be, are servants to God under the leadership of Mahalakshmi. Why must she take a female form? Because a servant does service to the boss. A wife does service to husband. But a wife's service to the husband is more meaningful than a servant's service, because a wife satisfies the husband even by her own body. Such a thing is not possible for a servant. So she takes up a female form to show Lord Narayana that we are all servants to you. Our servitude is as much true as that of a wife to husband. So she takes up a female form, and very many liberated souls would like to follow her path. Bhudevi, Neela Devi, all these Devis, they are all just souls. They are beyond sex differentiation. Basically, you must understand one thing. No soul is masculine or female. Every soul is above sexual partition. Soul is sexless. Achedhyoyam, adakyoyam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says it cannot be burnt, it cannot be cut. It is above sexual division. But here, to make people understand that a soul has a bounden duty to serve God as much as a wife is bounden to do service to her husband, she takes up a form. So she is called Srihi. Sriyakpati means the husband of Sri Mahalakshmi. But Lord Narayana is so noble, so generous that he has blessed and bestowed upon Goddess Lakshmi all boons. She is in charge of all the 14 worlds. Whether it is Kubera Loka with Sanganidhi, Padmanidhi, and all 9 kinds of wealth, or if it is Mahar Loka where Rishis abide, or if it is Indra Loka where Urvashi and Ramba are singing and dancing, all kinds of wealth come under the jurisdiction of Mahalakshmi. If at all you want anything, any worldly boon, you go to her. She is the easiest point to approach and get a boon. Lord Narayana has blessed her that way. And that lady is subservient to Lord Narayana under his administration. So we can easily understand the husband of Mahalakshmi, that is Lord Narayana, he is in full control of all worldly wealths. If he has a mind to bless you, he will simply look at Goddess Mahalakshmi and she will understand and she will pour fortunes upon you. Sriyakpatihi. Nikila heya pratinika kalyaneka tanaka. Nikila heya pratinika. Heya means defects. He is above all kinds of defects. How about we people? We are collections of defects. We have eye defect, we have ear defect, we have physical defects, we have mental defects, we lack willpower, we don't understand many things, we have intellectual defects, all kinds of defects we have. I cannot fly, I cannot go to Vaikuntha, I cannot know what is in the opposite house, I cannot read the mind of others, so many cannots, so many disabilities. But all these defects, Lord Narayana does not have. He is above all these defects. That's what Ramanuja says. Nikila heya pratinika kalyaneka tana. He has only auspicious collections. Whatever is good, whatever is noble, whatever is laudable, whatever is desirable is with him. All positive, nothing negative. He is a Bandhar, he is a Kajhana. Svetara samasta vastu vilakshana. He is different from all other things which are not him. You see, there are 3 things according to Visishtadvaita. 1 God, 2 soul, 3 Mula Prakriti. This Mula Prakriti manifests itself as Panchabhutas, Panchatanmatras, as this world, these trees, these jackals, these dogs, these lions, these men, these women, gold, silver, and all these things come from Mula Prakriti. But at the time of destruction, the final destruction of the worlds, all these will be wound up. They will go back, they will shrink back. When we watch a musician playing on this accordion, you can see him spreading the fan and shrinking it. Like that, Mula Prakriti spreads itself into nature and shrinks itself to the root. Then soul, human souls are many, infinite in number. But these 2 kinds are different from God, but residing in God. What is the living place for these things? Human souls and nature, they live in God, upon God. They are like the fish swimming in the ocean. Vedas have tried to define God as one thing. God is a particular entity from where all worlds and living beings emanate, in whom all these things live, and within him all these things shrink and disappear during the time of Pralaya. He is the generator, he is the maintainer, he is the destroyer. And this Leela, this play, this creation play, is going on eternally. Why does he do it? In order to give experiences to souls so that they can become wise, they can understand this nature, this Mula Prakriti, this Maya world is after all a cheat. It's cheating us by its beautiful appearances. The human soul must understand that Lord Narayana is the ultimate goal. He is following us as the Antaryami, the inner dweller, the person who lives in the heart of hearts, following us in every birth, warning us against evil, guiding us to good. But he feels sad whenever we go wrong. But he doesn't mind it. Let the soul take 1,000,000 births, but I won't spare it. I will keep on giving him punishments and rewards, giving him experience after experience, till one day when this human soul will understand itself, then its creator, then comes to me. That is salvation. So this name is such a wonderful name, and I will take another name. Niratisaya Aujvalya Saugandhya Saundarya Saukumarya Lavanya Yavanadi Ananta Guna Nidhi Divya Rupaha. His form is Ujvala, very brilliant, bright, brighter than the sun. Then Saugandhya, Sugandha means perfume, sweet smell. Now, whatever sweet smell we get from roses or lotus or flowers or from scents is a replica of his holy body. He is innately sweet smelled. Saugandhya, Saundarya means Avayava Shobha, that is physical beauty. Whom we call beautiful on earth is not beautiful at all compared to his personality. Saukumarya, that is very soft to touch. Lavanya is, Lavanya means that charm, the charming personality, charisma. Charisma is a sort of a gate, a sort of mental personality. It throws a charm upon the viewer. We say one particular actor is able to fill up the role of a character, but when the same character is played by other actors, they don't satisfy the expectation of audience because that one actor is charming. The Lavanya is there. So this Lord Narayana has this Lavanya, charismatic personality. One look at him will arrest you. Shurpanaka in Ramayana came to eat Rama because Shurpanaka prefers human flesh. But when she came near, she forgot the idea of eating him. She was charmed by his physical personality. She changed her idea. She wanted to marry him. So, a human flesh eater was charmed by that human flesh personality. Such was Rama's victorious personality, charismatic personality. We find this in his incarnation. Think of his original form in Sri Vaikunta. And in all incarnations, we find rishis praising his Lavanya. Yavana. Yavana is in Vaikunta, it is said that he is always 25 years old. He looks as young as a 25-year-old youth. He never becomes old. Because he is beyond time. What is time? Time is a principle which causes changes in everything. Every body, every leaf, every bark, every animal, every flesh, every cell. Every man gets older for every second. A man is older by 5 minutes when the time is 7:05 than when the time was 7. He is 5 minutes old. Every second, every fraction of a second eats up our health, our youth, our longevity. We keep becoming old. All buildings become old. Trees become old. Animals become old. Men become old. Women become old. You tell me one object which does not become old. Every object, living and non-living, comes under the administration of time. God has given time that capacity. Time eats everybody. Whereas God is above time, He is ever youthful. He is called Yavana Purusha. The Vedas proclaim that. So, here we see he is a Nitya Yavana. This way he goes on saying, he is great in every respect, and he explains how he is called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means a personage with 6 qualities. Bhaga means 6. Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Virya, Sakti, Tejas. These 6 qualities he possesses, and that's why he is called Bhagavan. 6-qualited personage. That is infinite wisdom, infinite strength, infinite wealth, infinite bravery, infinite resistance. Like that he goes on explaining, and we forget that we are reading Bhagavad Gita. We start getting ourselves immersed in his writings. And he praises Bhagavad Gita so much that, in modern days, people have a doubt that Bhagavad Gita was an interpolation in Mahabharata. That Bhagavad Gita never happened during the time of Lord Krishna. It is a cooked up story. It was interpolated in Vyasa Bharata. But here Ramanuja, who was endowed with the divine wisdom, who could pierce through the screen of time and who could see what happened and what did not happen, he asserts and he affirms that Bhagavad Gita did happen. Bhagavad Gita is a reality. It is not an imagination, it is not a fancy. So here he says, while Bhagavad Gita was taught by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, he brought, in essence, all the Vedas so that we can understand easily. It's like something like this, Lord Krishna is a gopa, that is, he is a cowherd. The Vedas are the cow. He milks the cow, and the milk, he gets his Bhagavad Gita. So he says the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Vedas. So there we understand the greatness of Bhagavad Gita. And I think I am taking too much of your time. I think at this stage I can take leave of you, thanking the temple authorities of Sri Balaji Temple at Portland, and the organizer, Mr. Bharani Kumar, and all of you who have paid me a patient audience. Jai Sri Narayan.